was saying, because I was a very persuasive person. So you had persuaded me to talk about smart city. And then I was told that I need to cover it in 5 minutes, talk about its future, talk about its past. I think the first thing we do is define what is smart. I think smart is one who can find smart cities in 5 minutes. And clearly I don't qualify for that. But I'll attempt. To begin with, where are we going towards when we talk about smart cities? I think if you had listened carefully to what Mr. Dhupia was talking about, that gives hints to where smart cities are moving towards. An ultimate aim, and that's a term I'd coined, is to have cognitive cities. What exactly is a cognitive city? Is that if the minister's flight was getting late, but he was running for his flight right now, not knowing that the flight is late, there is alarm in the phone will connect with the flight timings and will ring much later based on the fact that the flight is late. Or if there's a traffic jam between here and the airport, the alarm bell will actually ring much earlier, asking him to leave because he'll back calculate and figure out how much time it will take to go to the airport, and therefore the alarm will ring in his phone much earlier than what it's supposed to ring. That's not the end of cognitive city. A cognitive city will be learning from its people, from its machines, from its ecosystem. If it senses that the air pollution is going up, it will immediately start shutting down equipment and activities which are polluting. If it knows that you need to get out of this hotel and go home, it will figure out the timing of this conference and send you an autonomous vehicle to pick you up and take you home without you bothering to figure that out. That becomes cognitive city. But obviously we can't have cognitive city in 5 minutes, as I said. There will be some stepping stones before you reach to a cognitive city. You would first need to have a smart city before you reach to cognitive city, and therefore back to the original question, what is a smart city? About a year and a half was spent by Ministry of Urban Development trying to define what is smart city. And in their wisdom, which I completely support, they decided not to define what a smart city is. Because it is like the elephant trying to be defined by 6 blind men. Depending on which side you're looking at, depending on what you're touching of the elephant, you'll define the smart city in that fashion. But we all know and have a feel of which ways a smart city will be moving towards. It'll be a city which will use and leverage information to deliver services to its people better, to make the life of its citizens better, and therefore it will have things like a network for Internet of Things, it will have Wi-Fi, it will have things like applications which can tell you where the toilets are, and so on and so forth. But you can have all of that only when you have a functional city in place, which means you need to have a water pipeline first, which does not have 60% leakage. That's the average figure of water leakage that we have in current cities. And only then can you put in a sensor which will tell you where the water leakage is happening and therefore plug that. You need to have a proper sewage system. You need to figure out where your pipes are, where your wires are. You need to know where your roads have been laid out, where it was laid out. Once we do that, only then we can move towards a smart city. Do we have a proper sewage system? How much of sewage treatment plants do we have? And that requires a fundamental investment before we move towards the issue of a smart city. Having said that, not every city in the world will go through the same journey. The requirements in India obviously will be quite different from the requirements in Bangladesh, which will be quite different from the requirements in, let's say, Netherlands or US or any other place. If you look at the issue of a simple public toilet utility, what is called in the jargons as PTU, you try and set up a PTU in any city in India, it has disastrous consequences. What are the issues with the PTU? The woman will complain it's unsafe, it's unhygienic, it's smelly, it's unusable, and toilets have a peculiar characteristic that its operational cost every year is the same as the capital cost, which means that it's prohibitively expensive to run. And municipalities don't have the money, so we end up having the public toilets that we have. So essentially what we are saying, there is an operational sustainability issue. There's also a financial sustainability issue. Is that issue existing in, let's say, Singapore or in Denmark or a US? No, because the municipalities are rich enough to make a good toilet and to make sure it's safe, it's clean, and it's operationally sustainable. These are unique issues that come up in India, and therefore we need to have innovation to solve these issues. Have we solved it? Yes, in certain places we have. If you get out of this hotel and go down to Patel Chowk, you'll see a new shining public toilet over there in the corner. And what's so smart about that public toilet? Does it have fancy antennas coming up and Wi-Fi sticking out and so on? Well, it does have that, but that's not the claim to fame for that toilet. The claim to fame for that toilet is it addresses financial sustainability and operational sustainability in a combined fashion. It has an ATM within the bank, within the toilet. And the bank which puts up the ATM also gave the loan to set up the toilet itself. And the monthly payments for the ATM pays for the toilet, pays for the EMIs to be paid against the loan. So the same bank is giving the loan and is paying off the loan. But how do we take care of safety, security, hygiene, smell, all of those things that we talk about? If anybody has to come to the bank, the place needs to be hygienic, so the bank will fight with the toilet operator. We also put in a path lab where you can go and give your blood test, give your stool test, and all the other tests, and they'll give you the result. In fact, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi was the first person to give his blood sample over there. For anybody to give the blood sample in the toilet needs to be clean and hygienic. And therefore, they will fight with the toilet operator to make sure that there is operational sustainability. We have put in a flower shop. Same reason, the flower shop was to make sure that there is no smell over there. There is a water ATM. Water ATM is to make sure that there is an operational sustainability. And with all of these units put over that 300 square feet area, the number of footfall goes up, which makes the place much more safer. And therefore, we end up having an operational sustainability and a financial sustainability hand in hand. Now, if we do all of that, will we still have a Singapore-like city? If we have a dual piping system providing grey water, we have nice sewage treatment systems, we have smart bus stops, we've got a Wi-Fi system, will we still be able to have a Singapore where you step out and feel safe and feel nice? I think those are questions that we still need to answer, because the plans are already in place and we need to see whether they're going to lead to this vision of shining cities. Only time will tell that. And I think with that, the bell has rung and I'm done with my views on smart cities. Thank you for a very patient time.